Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Can you see the?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, let me see if I can minimize this a little. There we go. Okay. So our presentation is about blockchain domains, and we're going to go through some walkthroughs. It's a lot of information, so we're going to have a lot of questions during. And if you need to ask questions, feel free. I'm probably not going to be seeing the Zoom call, so if somebody can interrupt me while I'm talking and let me know that there are questions. Okay, speaking today, I'm Debbie Muserall. I'm the Director of Operations for Encirca, and Tom Barrett is the President of Encirca. He's also going to be chiming in. What we're covering today, the four main blockchain options as of now, ICANN versus blockchain discussion, wallets, how to buy them, how to add coins, step-by-step for registering domains on the four blockchain options, which are Ethereum, Unstoppable, Handshake, and Impervious. Options for viewing domains that are not on the DNS, and overarching issues that come up regarding blockchain. So the four main blockchain domain options are Ethereum, that's probably the oldest, Unstoppable, Handshake, and Impervious. And I'll go through each one, explain the differences, and the similarities. Some of them have similar ways of registering domain names.
Yeah, and I should point out there's certainly plenty of other options of folks offering blockchain domains. We decided these are the four that are certainly the most popular and that seem to be going after a larger retail audience. There's, as I said, there's blockchains that are offering domain names just for their particular wallet, such as Solana and Polkadot, which we're not going to discuss today.
Right. Okay, so comparing the GTLD launch with blockchain, there were all these questions when the new TLDs launched. Why are they needed? How do they work? What do I need to do as a trademark owner? And what do I do with one if I order one? And those are kind of the same questions and issues that are coming up for the blockchain. So getting on the ground floor, learning how you guys are learning is the best bet in terms of getting the domain names that you want and all that. ICANN domains can be seen on regular browsers and DNS like Chrome. Only second level domains are available to register for individual use. Registrants and owners are traceable via registrant and customer information. And there's a unitary root with laws and policies via ICANN. The blockchain, on the other hand, they have to use special browsers or DNS plugins. Like, for example, Brave or Beacon have ways to see the blockchain domains. NextDNS is kind of a DNS add-on to your computer that will also let you look at blockchain domain names. The registrant information for blockchain is hidden on the blockchain and not really readily ascertained, especially specific names. I mean, you can see what somebody is registered, but you can't really see who they are. And there's no law or policy right now, no overarching laws or policies for blockchain. What can you register and where? So we chose the top four. So Ethereum, you can register second level domain names, encirca.eth, for example. You can register 9 domains for second level on Unstoppable, like encirca.crypto. There's also there's also like .www and like I said, 7 others, and we can go through those. We'll see them. All these tabs are links to the registries. Handshake or Namebase. is a fork of Bitcoin, and you can do two things. You can buy a TLD like in Circa, dot in Circa, or you can buy and once you buy that TLD, you can also stake that TLD and sell second level domains. Right now, there's 6 million TLDs that have been registered on Handshake, but only 1,500 of them have been staked and are selling domains. And we can go through, we'll go through the staking process as well further in the presentation. And then the final one is Impervious, and it's kind of a mixture of Ethereum and Handshake. You can stake your Handshake domain names, and you can also offer them for second level registration, like always.forever.
And just for a little flavor of the background of these four projects, Ethereum is a open source project. It has a nonprofit foundation behind it. Unstoppable is a venture capital backed firm. They just announced a $68 million fundraise last week, making them with $1 billion cap. Handshake is also open source. Namebase is, however, privately owned. It's just acquired by Namecheap, which is the second biggest ICANN registrar. And then Impervious is also a private corporation. So I'll give you a flavor of what's behind these four projects.
Debbie, it's Glenn. We have a question from, I believe, Andrea. She asked, my question to all four networks allow IPFS? Website, sorry.
Yeah, actually, we go through that further on. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yes.
Yes. It's just a matter of how they add that. But yes, all four of them, you can use a website with IPFS.
Okay, thank you.
And I do go through that when I go to viewers, and also in between, inside these four. Okay. So the next question. So in order to register a domain name, and also sometimes in order to actually even see what's available, you need a wallet. And a wallet is where you store, you can do a few things with wallets, but the main purpose of a wallet is to store coins that you can use to buy domains, other coins, invest. So there are three types of wallets. There's a hard cold wallet, and I can show you one of them. I can't see if you guys can see my screen. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
This is a hard wallet, and what it is you have to plug. So basically, information is stored in the wallet, and you have to plug it into your computer. So it's called cold storage because you can unplug it from your computer and put it in a safe, or once you stored your coins on here, you can save it wherever you want. There are also online storages, which are called custodial wallets. So those are not portable, let's say. You can port them from computer to computer, but you can't really store them on a hard drive. And then there are hot non-custodial wallets like Coinbase, which you don't own the information. It's sort of on the website. And let's see. So this one right here that I'm holding is a Trezor wallet. So you order a Trezor wallet delivered to you, and then you set up the Trezor wallet. And then you can either use the Trezor wallet with software that's on your computer, or you can add the Trezor wallet to an online wallet. So I have this Trezor wallet with information, but I added it to my MetaMask wallet, which is online. There's also a Ledger wallet. That's another hard wallet. I don't have an example of that. So in order to use these two wallets, not only do you have to have an account and a password, but there's also something called a seed phrase. So a seed phrase is either 12 or 24 words that are like a double password. And once you have a seed phrase, that's how you log into your Trezor. That's how you recover your Trezor if you have an issue. So seed phrases are very, very important. And like I said, the Trezor one has 24. A MetaMask wallet, even though it's online, it still has a seed phrase. And that's only 12 names. But again, it's very safe. You're the only one that has those seeds. If you lose those seeds, there's a really good chance you can't get back your information. So it is a very safe wallet. Wallets like Coinbase are not quite as safe because they are online and they're not custodial. So not your keys. So you don't get the 12 keys, and not your coins. You don't store the Coinbase is online, so they're not stored on a wallet. So this is the cold is the most safe. The MetaMask would be the second level security, and Coinbase would be the last level security. And the other thing about wallets, let me see if I have this. Okay, wallets are used for storing coins, and some wallets can only hold certain coins. For example, MetaMask can hold a lot of currencies, but they don't hold Handshake. So Handshake coins, you need a Bob wallet. And I have a link. And all of these links are at the end of this presentation. I don't know whether it's going to be downloaded somewhere, but we can download it. So you can have multiple wallets with multiple coins. So I have a Bob wallet that I can't log into. I have a Bob wallet and I have a MetaMask wallet. I end up using the MetaMask wallet constantly. The Bob wallet. So the other thing about coins is you can transfer them from one coin to another, and I can show you how to do that on the MetaMask wallet, or actually I can show you how to do that on Coinbase. The other thing that wallets are good for is storing domains and NFTs. So you don't not necessarily just have to store money, you can store domains. And there's a lot of security in terms of, you can also store other things like personal data that's attached to your wallet. And you can also grant access to websites and things with your wallet. That's a little bit more complicated than domains, but there are other options for wallets. So for registering a domain name, every transaction costs a fee. You have to pay for registration, you have to pay for renewal, you have to pay for transfer, and those are all pretty normal for ICANN. But you also have to pay for any informational updates you do, and that's a little bit different from blockchain. When you update a domain, you're updating the smart contract on the blockchain. So every time you do an update, regardless of how small, you're using your wallet to do that update, and you're using the coins in your wallet to do that update. In addition to a transaction fee, you're also charged a gas fee. And the gas fee is basically a transaction fee to execute the contract on the blockchain. And I'll show you a gas fee. We'll go through we'll register a name and we'll go through a gas fee. I'll register a name and we'll go through the whole MetaMask process.
Debbie, can I just jump in? Claudio had a question earlier, and it goes back to when you started your contrast between the two. He asked here, when you say laws don't apply to the same way as new GTLDs, are you suggesting the remedies under the Anti-Cyber Squatting Consumer Protection Act in the US are not applicable?
Yeah, and I'll take that one if you don't mind. So you can certainly sue under that. The problem is, Claudio, there is no identifiable legal entity or natural person that you can direct that lawsuit to. And so you can go to court, even in rem, which is typically what you do if you don't know a registrant of a domain name, isn't very helpful because there is no contracted party like a VeriSign that you can serve a court order to. This is open source community. No one is in control of these blockchain domains. You can argue one or two of them might be able to do something, but by design, there is no contracted party that you can serve a court order to. So it doesn't really apply in this instance. We can talk more at the end about what I think is going to emerge instead, but it's not the current laws.
Great, thank you. And I believe Alfredo had a quick question as well. Let me just pull it up here. He asked here, 1 second.
What happens if you lose your hard wallet?
Correct.
So Eduardo, if you are the sole custodian of those keys, meaning you have the only copy, and you lose it, you're pretty much out of luck.
Yeah.
And so we have there's several advancements that are trying to address that. For example, one of the things we did early on is we handle blockchain domain registrations now where we serve as custodian. And so we have multiple backup copies of our wallet. So the one that Debbie showed you, I have a copy and other folks on my team have a copy. So if one of them happens to lose it, we have someone else who can step in and do our job and provide access to those. The newest wallets have a concept called multi-sig. And multi-sig is more of a safeguard because it requires, let's say 3 out of 5 is a typical multi-sig, meaning that 5 people are required to authorize an update to that wallet or domain name, and you just need 3 out of 5 to agree to that update. And so it's like a multi-factor or multi-party authorization, but also gives you a backup in case one of those 5 people gets hit by a bus or something. You have a backup. And so I think you're going to see emerging, you already are, but you'll see third parties whose sole business it is to serve as a third party custodian, to serve as a backup for people who are trying to manage their digital assets.
That actually was a question from Eduardo, but the question from Alfredo, he asked, what happens if you do not have enough coins or cash to cover the fees when transactions are done?
Okay, this is this slide right here. So
Okay,
this is kind of like a chicken and an egg situation. You need a wallet, but then you also need coins to put in the wallet, and you really can't. Most wallets you really can't add coins to automatically. So what you need is something like a coin exchange. So for example, this is my test coin exchange when I was first starting out. So as you can see, I have balances here. So basically, when you join a coin exchange, it's kind of a complicated system. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you're adding a credit card or something. You have to prove a few things in order to add money, into the account. You have to add your account. So I added an account on crypto. You have to verify your information, and there's a lot of this. You have to do an ID card. You have to take a picture of yourself, sometimes with a date, to prove that you're a human being. You have to send something that has your address verification on it, and you have to send something that will verify your income and your bank.
Right. And these are the rules, really, which happens to U.S. citizens, maybe in other countries. But certainly, if you want a Coinbase account, they have several steps required before, for example, I can fund it from my business bank account before they'll allow that to go through.
Right. And so then once I did all that, I can then buy money. I mean, I can buy coins, and then I can send coins. I don't know why this is, I bought coins. I don't know why this is telling me I have to add. Sometimes there's updates that you need to do. So as you can tell, I've got some Ethereum, I've got some Bitcoin, I've got assets that I can then send to my wallet. So this is actually not a wallet. This is just a crypto exchange. But once I have the money in the account, I can send it to my wallet. And that's how you can buy, and you can add money if you don't have money in here.
Yeah, and so for example, if you do need to use, let's say you want to buy a .eth domain name, it needs to be paid for with Ether, which is the currency for Ethereum. If you came to Encirca to buy that ETH domain name, you simply pay us in US dollars with a credit card, and we manage the Ethereum currency transaction from our Ethereum wallet. So all that is kind of
taken care of.
Taken care of by third parties like Encirca. But if you want to do it yourself, then you need to figure out how to fund the Ethereum wallet yourself.
Right. And there are tons of wallets available. Like I said, MetaMask is my favorite because it's very easy, but there are tons of wallets, as you can tell from all these wallets that show up on Unstoppable. Let me go back and see if I missed anything. So I have all the links here as well. And as we go through like ordering an Ethereum, you'll see how the wallet works and what happens and all that. But are there any other questions about blockchains and wallets? Okay. So let's order an Ethereum name. And you can see how it works. So the first thing, so I have a MetaMask wallet. I didn't really want to order another one because I didn't want to mess up what I have. But as you can tell, it's up here in my Chrome, and I haven't signed in yet. And as you can tell, because I haven't signed in, I can try and order a domain name. But because I haven't signed in and I haven't connected my wallet, I can't search for anything. So you need a wallet, at least on Ethereum, to register a domain name. So I'm going to sign in to my wallet.
And this is a simple plugin to Chrome. So we're not using any special browser here. So you can use the same plugin for Firefox or Microsoft Edge. It works with all the browsers. So I wanted to show you this. So I have multiple wallets on this MetaMask. I have an online wallet, which is called our Encirca Hot. I have the Encirca Trezor, which is this one that I showed you. I have my own Trezor, which I have in my safe. And then I have a couple that were mistakes. So the one thing about MetaMask is you can't really delete accounts, even if you make mistakes. But as you can tell, there's nothing in here. So I can switch between any of these wallets. I can send money between the wallets. I can send, so to your point, if I don't have enough money in the hot wallet, I can move money from the Trezor wallet or vice versa. Also, if you, let's see, I'm sorry. If you go, I know there's a way to do it. Hold on a second. I haven't had to do it, but there's a way to add money. There's a way to add money in here. So there is a way to add money into your MetaMask directly. But you first have to have, so I can create an account. So I can create as many MetaMask accounts as I want. And then I can import an account. That's how I got these two Trezors in here. And so, so for example, my hot wallet, this is the address to my hot wallet right here.
It's a long address, but I can copy that and send it to somebody and say, send me money on my hot wallet. The good thing about domains is once I order a domain, I can attach it to this wallet. So instead of having to send this whole number, I can say, just send me like debbiemuzz.eth and it'll go to my wallet. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So let's say I want to search for this name. So first of all, I need to connect my wallet, and it's going to ask me if I want to connect. There we go. So see how it's connected now to the the letter of my wallet. OX8EA, OX8EA. Okay, so now if I search for something, see this turned blue? So now I can search for something because it knows I have a wallet. So I'm searching for .eth. And it's available. So now I can register it if I wanted to using the wallet that I have attached. It tells me how much it's going to be. So it's going to cost me 0.0038 ETH and then some gas fee. So at the most, it's going to cost me $20, basically around $20. And it gives instructions on what you need to do in order to register the domain name. So I'm going to actually register the domain name just so you guys can see the whole process. So I'm going to request to register, and this should pop up. And it's going to tell me that this is how much it's going to cost for the gas fee. Then I have to confirm. Now, if it was the Trezor wallet, if it was the hard wallet, not only would I have to confirm, but I would have to plug this into my computer and do a bridge to it so that I can confirm on this as well. But because this is the hot wallet that's not on the hard Trezor, I can just confirm this way. So I'm going to confirm, and it's going to take a while to get to. You have to wait a minute to register.
And any questions while we're
while we're waiting? It'll take about a minute.
There was one question in the chat from Sebastian. Why use the same words regarding TLDs as it seems to be not the same thing as within DNS? So Sebastian, what's happened on the blockchain is there's a high demand for domain names. And so what they've done is they've taken DNS, which is an open source protocol, and they've cloned it. And so now there's an Ethereum naming service, there's a Handshake naming service, there's an Unstoppable naming service. Every one of these blockchains that are offering their own domain name have cloned DNS to work on their particular blockchain. And so the terminology is basically the same. The main difference is the governance.
Tom, I believe there's a follow-up from Siva as well in the chat. Do you see that?
I do. So the authentication requirement for setting up and operating a wallet makes crypto wallets look as authenticated as that of a central bank controlling banking. How does crypto money become money of choice for anonymous users, often to hold and transact illegitimate wealth? What part of crypto operates like a mythical Swiss bank numbered account? So, one of the ideals of crypto was that it was anonymous. I think more recently, people have realized you have to be very, very careful if you really want to be truly anonymous. There are ways to, and maybe Debbie can go into our wallet. If we find out in our business, if someone is cyber squatting a trademark, you can look into their wallet to see what else they own in their wallet and what other transactions they have done. And you might be able to track them down doing forensics For example, you might find out they're using a particular handle that you find on a Discord forum or a Twitter account. And so it's not completely anonymous. People leave trails all across the internet. And so as we have, as some of the, there's been some folks who are trying to steal cryptocurrency, and engineers have figured out how to track them down because they were a bit sloppy in some of the audit trails or crumbs they left behind. But certainly there's enough people out there who stayed away from public companies like Coinbase, and they've stayed with hard or cold wallets, and they wash through dozens of different wallets. They're very difficult to track down.
Great. Tom, do we have time we have two more questions, one from Leon and one from Eduardo.
Well, let me go through one more thing. So I'm going to register this now because it's ready.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to show you that I have to approve it again because the last approval was for gas, and this approval is for the actual registration. So if I wait for a couple of seconds, see, it keeps changing because the price of ETH changes. So whenever I want to confirm, I have to confirm when it's blue, or else it's going to change again to gray. So once I confirm again, it locks in that price, and then it's still, so now you can do it. It's still pending registration. So now you can go ahead and do the questions. I just wanted to let you know that there's 2 steps to registering a domain.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, I got 2 questions. Well, let me go with Leon's first. Might there be a name collision, and how would the impact stability? That's from Leon Sanchez.
Yeah, Leon, there are already name collisions between competing blockchain TLDs. And so it's already happening. You may have noticed that there's a lawsuit going on right now between Unstoppable Domains and a company called Gateway over the .wallet TLD. It's not a ICANN delegated TLD. They're trying to resolve that in the courts, but there are already collisions for other generic strings like .nft and .coin. That is a problem that I think you'll hear more about in the next few months. There are organizations on the blockchain looking for solutions to that, and that's really a topic of another talk, another time. Second question, can you buy a domain that is registered to you forever without the need to pay a yearly fee? From Eduardo, absolutely. That is the business model for Unstoppable Domains. You pay once, there's no renewal fees. That is the business model for Impervious. In fact, they've registered .forever. So as part of their TLD branding. Ethereum ETH has decided to charge what they call annual rent to fund their decentralized autonomous organization. So they have annual revenue. And within the Handshake namespace, there's no annual fee for the top level domains, but the folks who are selling second level names within Handshake are selling them with annual renewal fees.
Right. And as you can tell, so we just bought this name, wtest.eth. I'm the registrant, I'm the controller, and as you can see, there's an expiration date. There is some safety in this. So the registrant is the person who owns the domain and can transfer the domain and can update the domain. The controller is kind of like the admin. They can do some things, but they can't transfer the domain. So you can change this number to somebody else, and they can do everything except for transfer the domain. And anybody can renew the domain. They don't get the domain once they renew it, but anybody can renew it. And I'll show you. So right now, my wallet matches this. So my wallet, so I can do whatever, I can do all 3 of these. But let's say somebody else comes in without that wallet address. So I'm going to change it to, sorry, I'm going to change it to the other wallet I have. So now if you look, I can't do either one of these because the wallet doesn't match. I can still renew, but I can't do anything. I can't edit. I can't do anything unless my wallet matches. So that's a security feature that they have.
Right. And so what some folks are doing is, there's all these are basically a type of NFTs, and what you put in your wallet are keys to your NFTs. And so some people are taking these keys and destroying them, which means there's no way to transfer them or update them. And so all you can do is renew them. And so they're trying to come up with, so that kind of mechanism, for example, is being used by .forever, the .forever TLD and Impervious. Their model is you can have, once they've launched a TLD, you can never cancel that TLD because they've destroyed the keys. And so it's forever in a frozen state on the blockchain.
Right. So, so now if I want to see whether this is actually on the blockchain, I can do it one of two ways. I can either go directly to the blockchain, or if I go into my, so this is what Tom was talking about. If I go into here, my hot wallet, and I view my account on Etherscan, you can see that these are all my transactions. But if I go into here, which is where my tokens are, and if I view my NFT, this should be debietest.eth. So as Tom was saying, you can look through all these and tell what this particular wallet with this particular address has registered. So that's kind of a way you can.
Right. You can see all the transactions that they've done, either registering ETH names or sending crypto in or out. This shows you transactions. It shows you tokens. So NFTs are a type of token as well as Ether or Bitcoin.
Right.
So the blockchain, what's interesting about the blockchain is it's all public information other than the ownership, but all the transactions are public.
Right. Okay. So okay, so that's.
Yeah. And so there's a question, Debbie, about the concept of what you DNS zone records. So I know you're getting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Okay. So let me refresh because I want to make sure I'm okay. So down here, you can add or edit records. And there are a few records that you can add. So the first one is your address. So now debietest.eth, sorry. Debietest.eth, if I go into my MetaMask and I want to send money, instead of sending the whole number, this whole OX80, AC, whatever, I can just send it to debietest.eth. So that is what this is. So this tells me that if I want to send ETH to this address using this address, if I set that, and I can set BTC and LTC and Dogecoins, you can set as many these 4 coins. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I can edit, and this is where IPFS comes in. I can add an IPFS address in here. And once I do that, this address can be seen online. So let me see if I can. Yeah, nameshare.eth.
You gonna get into the right browser?
I don't know.
What browser you in now?
I'm in Beacon.
Okay.
That seems to be a little slow. Yeah. Sorry, guys, it's a little slow. Come on. Yeah.
So what Debbie is trying to show you is that we have another ETH name called NameShare, which is my other registrar. So we've registered nameshare.eth, and we've mapped it to an IPFS page, which stands for Interplanetary.
There we go. Okay, sorry. So this is, so I used IPFS, and you can download it onto Windows. I have it right here. And so with IPFS, you can add files. There we go. You can add files. And then you can, once you add a file, you have a CID number. And once you have that CID number, sorry, I'm going around and around, but you can add it into this content. And then that file that you just did in IPFS shows up. So for NameShare, this is just a coming soon site that I added a text record for. So if you look, nameshare.eth site coming soon. And so
what if you go to encirca.eth? What do we have for that?
I don't think we have anything.
I thought you went to, I thought you did. So there's a question, can you redirect a name to Facebook or Twitter? And the answer is yes. You can put in a redirect to any traditional DNS site that you want to.
I don't know about Encirca, Tom. So this is the problem. Not the problem. This is the issue with ETH domains. You can add this and you can add the content, but in terms of these don't do anything that I can.
Yeah, I haven't set those other text fields.
Right.
I guess I could have fleshed it out some more for this demo.
Right. We kind of needed to, and I can't, let me see.
Yeah, no, that's in a different wallet.
Right. So if I go back to NameShare, ETH. So in here, see, I have the IPFS, and that's why this shows up here.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I know we want to keep moving along, Debbie.
Yep.
So
Okay.
once you go back to the slides, real question from Claudio: what happens if the domain name is not renewed? For ETH names, again, they have a grace period. If you don't pay the renewal fee, then they get released for re-registration.
Right. Any other Ethereum questions before we move on?
Yeah, why don't we keep moving along? Well, maybe we'll
okay.
Stop interrupting for questions.
Okay, so Unstoppable is similar but different. Okay, so Unstoppable, there's two differences. Well, first of all, you need an account with them. And also you can pay, you don't have to pay with, you can pay with dollars. You don't have to pay with any kind of crypto. So, but there are some differences. So I'm going to do, so Unstoppable has 9, you can do 9 different second level domains. So as you can tell, I've already registered debbiemouse.blockchain, but I could register all of these. And all you do is you add it to your cart and you check out, and you can check out with dollars or store credits if you have them. So in that sense, it's easier than .eth because you don't really need to register. You don't really need a wallet. However, once you've registered it, you do need a wallet. The other thing that's different about Unstoppable is they took the top, I want to say 10,000. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Tom. Trademarks, and they protected them. So Encirca is on the Trademark Clearinghouse. So if you want to buy an Encirca a trademark protected domain name, you have to fill out a form, and then they come back to you and say, including all your trademark information, and then they come back and say, yes, you're okay to register that domain name. So they're protecting trademark owners by protecting their domain name, but it's a process that takes a couple of days. We registered in Encirca.crypto. I filled out the form. It took a couple of days for them to come back to me to say, you're okay with the trademark, but they still haven't added it to this. So it takes a few days for you to get a trademarked domain name. To get a non-trademarked domain name, it's very quick. So, so as you can see, I got DebbieMuzz.blockchain. I got it a few weeks ago. We just got altroots.nft, and so what happens with Unstoppable is you can register it, but it's not on the blockchain. So right now, if you go to the blockchain, you will not find altroots.nft. You have to mint it first. And you can mint it using Polygon. Unstoppable uses Polygon, which is a different system than Ethereum. It's kind of complicated, but
right. So then on the blockchain, there's level 1 blockchains and level 2 blockchains. So Ethereum is considered a level 1, has high gas fees. Polygon is a level 2 blockchain that runs off of like a side chain to Ethereum. And so Unstoppable migrated from Ethereum to Polygon a year ago in order to eliminate basically high gas fees. So,
right, yeah. Right. So once you mint your domain on Unstoppable, you can manage it on Unstoppable. You don't have to do any, you don't have to go anywhere else. So for instance, you can add your crypto. It's kind of the same thing. You can add your crypto address. You can add your website, which I did with IPFS again. You can transfer to somebody else's wallet. You can sell your domain, and they have sort of an email system, but it's their email system, so it's not as robust as like a DNS email system. So, so again, for DebbieMuzz.blockchain, I put a website, so I can send crypto to it, but I also put a website here. So for .eth, I used Beacon, but unfortunately, Beacon doesn't accept Unstoppable, but Brave does. So this is another browser that you can use, and I'll go through browsers further on in the presentation. So I forwarded DebbieMuzz.blockchain to my DebbieMuzz.com domain. So
yeah, so then the standard use case really is not so much a website, but really just a wallet where you're perhaps displaying your NFTs like Bored Apes or other NFTs you may have acquired, or you're conducting business transactions or financial transactions with other sites.
Right.
That's the main use case for blockchain domains.
But if you want to use your domain to market your regular domain, you can also do that as well. So I know I went through that. So I know I went through that very quickly, but it's kind of the same process as .eth.
Right. The only difference is here, all you have to pay once. There's no renewal fee.
Right. There's no renewal fees. Right.
The domains don't expire.
Right. So if I go back to, sorry. If I go back to my domains, there's no expiration date here. there's nothing I need to manage. So I can have that as long as I want. Any questions on that one?
I think we're good.
Okay. Next one. Name base. Let me make sure I'm.
And while you're getting there, a quick question from Claudio. So if the registry has sufficient control over the domain to release it for re-registration, if the renewal fee is not paid, I'm not understanding why they don't have the same ability to cancel or transfer the name. The reason is, Claudio, there is no registry. It's something called a smart contract, which is basically another program, and it just runs itself. It's completely autonomous according to the rules of the smart contract. And so for ETH, if the renewal fee isn't paid, the smart contract expires the name. There's no legal entity doing the work. Anyone, however, can renew any name, even if they do not control it. Question from Lavish: are these wallets restricted to certain countries? There are certain, in the US, for example, we're going to get into Handshake in a second. Debbie talked about a Bob wallet. There's also a name-based wallet. With name-based, I've funded my name-based wallet, but I cannot withdraw it to US dollars because they don't have the right approvals yet from US authorities. So they certainly operate differently based on where you're a citizen of. So we have about 30 minutes, Debbie.
Okay. So yeah, for wallet, for adding coins as well. If you, some crypto exchanges, you can't use them in certain countries or states as well. So not only can you not use the wallet, but you can't get the money. Sorry. Okay, so we're on Handshake, and Handshake is another beast. Okay, so for Handshake, Handshake is another beast entirely. You are not ordering second level domains. You're ordering top level domains. If so the first thing you have to do is have a name base account. And as you can tell, I have a name base account. If I want to search for, I can search for a TLD, or I can search for TLDs that have already been registered by somebody. I can buy them. I can, this is kind of like the eBay of TLDs. I could bid for a domain name. So let's say I wanted to do Encirca test. That domain name is released. Nobody has it.
I'm surprised no one has this one yet. Let's grab this TLD.
Do you want to? Well, the thing is, it takes a while. What do you want to spend?
I'll spend one Handshake token, which is today's price is worth 6 cents.
Okay, Encirca test. Okay, and my total lockup is two handshakes. So basically, this is like eBay. This is how much I want it for. This is how much I'm willing to pay for it. So I'm going to review, and I'm going to place the bid.
So what I just did is I started an auction for the Encirca test top level domain, and I'm bidding 6 cents for that TLD.
Right. So right now, Encirca test. So the auction starts, and the auction takes a week to see if there are any bids. So I started this one a week ago, and I've got 12 hours left, and nobody's taking it because, it's not a popular name. And I can, and once the auction ends, they'll either give it to me or they'll give it to the highest bidder. So when you go to this domain search, these ones that are in the marketplace are ones that have already been sold that people want you to buy.
Right. So the current stats is about 6 million top level domains that already registered in Handshake. And as you can see, a lot of them are available on their aftermarket. This is name-based aftermarket.
Oh, sorry. There's a lot of them. It keeps uploading them. Okay. So as you can tell, some of them are very expensive very expensive. This is just but it's kind of like eBay as well. People have to be willing to pay that much. So they can try and get that much. You can also bid on ones that are people have already started the auction for. You can also start your own auction like we just did.
Why don't you bring up one of these just so we see the auction in progress?
Okay, so bid history. Wow. Somebody's bidding a lot. So somebody started with 40 cents, $1, 2,500.
Yeah, those are handshake tokens.
Yeah, so that's not much, but it's still a lot more than $1. OXT, I don't even know why that would be so popular, but and ending soon in 1. So once I won my domain name, it's right here. I can manage it. Let me manage this one. So there's not much you can do with a handshake domain name. You can add, so here's where you can add the DNS records. So I didn't do anything with mine. You've done something with Encirca, right, Tom?
Yeah, so I've set up Encirca as a handshake TLD. I'm not doing a lot with it, but I do envision basically running it as a .brand TLD on the blockchain, and I could either give my customers their own second level name, or come up with a registration portal that's only accessible through our handshake TLD. I could redirect it, obviously, if I wanted to do that to.
You just did to Twitter, yeah.
So currently I'm redirecting .Encirca to my Twitter account just as a demonstration of the redirect. It's not particularly something I'd want to do long term. So handshake's a little different from what we showed you earlier, in that the second level names on handshake today use normal DNS. So I can just, as you just saw, I can just redirect it to Twitter because it's using normal DNS. I don't need IPFS. I don't need any special plugin. There are newer handshake TLDs that look and operate like Unstoppable and ETH, which we'll talk about. But the vast majority of the 1,500 handshake TLDs that are selling second level names, all the second level names are using normal DNS. To Claudio's earlier question, they are certainly subject to UDRP and the Anti-Cyber Spotting Protection Act, because for example, they're registered through Encirca or Porkbot or Namecheap, and the same terms apply to these names as they would for any ICANN domain. And so handshake's a little bit different animal, obviously, and name base in particular are again, the second levels are normal DNS.
Right. So if you want to, so let's say I won Web Hero, and I want it to be I want it to sell it to everybody to buy second level domains. You can do that through Namebase. So basically there's some parameters you need to do. You can set your registration cost, you can set your renewal cost, and they take a little bit off of they take a percentage off. And then once you set your second level domains, you have to pay a price, 1,500 HNS, which is like $100. And there's a year, so it's called staking. So once you stake your domain, you have to stake your domain for a year. There's all these terms and conditions. And then once you stake your name, the name is sent to all the registrars like Encirca or Porkbun, and they can sell those domain names for you. let me see if I have. Okay, so these are domain names that we sell. Actually, I should. So there's over, like Tom said, there's over 1,500. And if I could tie.
So there is a question, the collision question keeps coming up.
Yep.
And again, there certainly are collisions today. There are some blockchain projects, not the ones we've talked about today, that have ICANN TLDs as part of their blockchain project. So those exist today. There are 6 million handshake TLDs. By the time ICANN launches in 5 years, there'll be tens of millions. Certainly, if ICANN has another 2,000 applications, I would expect a lot of those would collide with existing blockchain TLDs. There will be collisions. There are the fastest growing browsers right now all are supporting blockchain domains, Brave, Opera. And it's not clear yet what will happen when ICANN starts to introduce colliding TLDs. It is clear there's already colliding TLDs between different blockchain projects. And depending on which browser you're using, you will reach a different version of that TLD. .wall is a great example. If you use Opera or Brave, you go to the unstoppable version. If you use Beacon, you would go to the handshake version.
So, so I ordered, so GoWeb is one of the ones that is being sold. It's a name-based TLD that they staked and wanted to sell second level domains. So I bought it in circa.goweb. And this is actually DNS. This is our DNS, our regular DNS. It's got name servers. This is like a web, a quick web hosting package. So second level domains can use regular DNS for name base or handshakes. Okay, so the last go ahead.
It should be noted that this is probably it's not all of them are going to stay in this kind of hybrid state where the top levels on the blockchain and the second levels on regular DNS. And this is what we're going to show you next is a hybrid solution that uses two different blockchains, handshake for the top level, and then I believe it's Ethereum for the second level.
Right. Any other handshake questions?
Just keep moving, Debbie.
Okay. Okay, so
Impervious is a group of developers that have been focusing on handshake for several years. They built Beacon, which probably we should deserves some extra words about.
Yeah, it's at the end. I have browsers at the end. We can.
All right, and then they've also done a plugin called Fingertip, so you can resolve handshake within Chrome or Firefox or Edge. And then finally, they've launched Impervious, which are on-chain second level names, like Unstoppable.
Right. They have like 30 on their registry right now. They also have Forever, which is not on this registry, but it's its own registry. And they also have Badass, which is its own registry. So you can, again, you need a wallet in order to register. You also need handshake. These are handshake coins.
That's Ethereum, actually.
I'm sorry, Ethereum. You also need your Ethereum wallet in order to register. And it's the same process as the Ethereum. You request to register, you wait for a minute, you complete your registration. It just looks a little different, but it's the same process. let me see which, let me go home. So once you register a domain name, like Encirca dot, where's the go one? Wait, encirca.www, is that the one I used? Yeah, I think that's the one I used. Okay, so once you register it, here it is. Again, you can add records, and this is also another DNS one. So if I wanted to add a record, I could add these records. I can also add text records. This is a brand new registry, so some of these records aren't working, so I can't get to these. This literally launched last week.
Yep.
So some of these records are not working. But for example,
What browser are you in now?
I'm in Beacon.
Okay. So Beacon is a fascinating, is probably what we would consider the most privacy enabled browser that's out there today. Not only does it resolve to blockchain domains, but it's using a DNS record called Dane. And what Dane allows you to do is to basically embed your own digital certificate into your browser, so you no longer need to rely on a third-party certificate authority. And so there's, as you know, there's been some security breaches with folks like GeoTrust and DigiCert. This eliminates that third-party CA from the picture, and you basically are you're encrypting your data using Dane instead of relying on a third party. So that, coupled with support for Handshake and Ethereum, really puts the Beacon browser ahead of the pack in terms of privacy.
Okay, the other part of Impervious is that, again, you can stake your name. I don't really have one to stake.
Right, we haven't, so the idea here is
well, actually, I can do.
You'd have to come here with the the Handshake TLD.
Right.
And instead of staking it with Namebase, where the second levels are on normal DNS, you can stake it with Impervious, where the second levels are on the blockchain.
Right, and then they would offer it on their registry. Right. The difference is if you transfer your domain name, you can't get it back, like Tom said. It's not like it's only for a year. They basically break it, so you cannot get it back ever.
Right. So they're trying to bring some stability by saying, look, if you're going to run on our platform, it's irrevocable. You make that decision and you cannot change your mind later and do basically a rug pull on anyone who might register second level names. And so their business model is, if you want to be on that platform, it's irrevocable. We're going to basically burn the keys that lets you control this TLD, and all you can do with it basically is sell second level names.
Right. Okay. So once you've bought your domain, how do you see it? How do you look at it? So we've been going over and over again the options that we can use. So the like Tom says, the best one I use is Beacon, because it will support 3 out of the 4 that we support, which is ETH, Handshake, and Impervious. The only one it does not support is Unstoppable. In order to look at Unstoppable, Brave supports Unstoppable. And then also, if you want to be a little bit more geeky, you can add DNS as an add-on to your website, to your computer. It's kind of like a VPS that'll resolve your DNS for you. But you don't really need this anymore. You used to need this all the time, but these two browsers are sort of taking over. that option. And then, as we've said before, you can either use DNS or IPFS to add your website, depending on which registry you're using. And I think that is it for the viewing. I mean, so like I said, you can do, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, a few more questions from Eduardo. Can you use Beacon to serve the regular DNS?
Yes.
Yes, it supports the ICANN route as well as Handshake and Ethereum today. So Debbie's on Beacon now. It serves, it goes to any ICANN TLD or second level.
Right. So in Circa.com, it works fine.
Yeah. David has a question about DNS abuse. How would an operational problem be affected by the blockchain domain system? David, I think that I posted a link earlier to show you how the Ethereum naming service is trying to self-regulate itself using a decentralized autonomous organization. As part of that, it's almost like an ICANN organization where people propose policies, and if you have a governance token as a member of that DAO, then you get to vote on policies, and it's just majority rules. There are similar DAOs being proposed to handle collisions on blockchain domains, for example. And I would also expect that there will be what I'll call dispute policies to resolve bad actors on blockchain domains.
Okay. So all of this is a lot of information all at once. I understand. The way that so basically you need a wallet, you need coins, you need to go to all these different places to register. So Encirca has solved that because we have we sell all these domains. I mean, all these different registries. We have links to order all these domains, and we accept any kind of payment. We accept credit cards, PayPal, Handshake, Bitcoin. We accept all the kinds of payments. So for example, if you go to Handshake, you can register any Handshake domain name here. And you add it to your cart, check out, you have the domain name. We do it all for you. Same thing.
You'll notice that Handshake, for example, doesn't have any restrictions on character length of the top level domains. So there's
and you can also do emojis. Yeah.
If you go to the pricing list, you can show the list of some of the emojis that they allow as top level domains. So they have very few naming. I'm not aware of any naming restrictions they might have for a top level domain. Obviously, the most interesting ones are not just emojis, but they string together multiple emojis as well. So again, these are all.
This is an emoji. Yeah.
I don't know what emoji that is.
I don't either. There's a lot of them that are kind of odd.
Yeah. If you scroll down, I think that more towards the bottom are the emojis. So these are about 1,500 Handshake TLDs that are selling second level names today. And again, there's another 6 million that haven't yet decided what to do. I think they're waiting for some more maturity.
Okay, here we go. Here's some emojis here. Yeah. So all of these are, so this one here, let's say.
So obviously you can get
Game Watch.
You can get emoji.emoji if you know how to type in the puny code for that emoji. This is what?
Game Watch?
So it's a picture of a game emoji and a clock emoji.
Controller? Yeah. So
Right.
some of these are just odd.
Yeah.
And then they have other, so anybody can do anything. There's one here that has like 10 A's. There are, like Tom said, emojis.
Yeah.
Like,
so I've got a question from Siva about trademark names.
Yep.
Each of these blockchain projects have handled it differently, Siva. The one that Debbie talked about earlier was Unstoppable Domains, which has done more than 10,000. I would say that they've done almost 1 million reserved names. And if you want to claim one, if you have a trademark to it, they force you to fill out a form and you actually pay a elevated price for those. Handshake at the top level, in addition to reserving the ICANN route from 2 years ago, they also reserve the top 100,000 top websites as ranked by Alexa. And that model is actually being repeated across some other blockchain projects like NextBlock. Then finally, Ethereum has not reserved anything. They did have a quasi sunrise period 2 years ago where if you owned a legacy ICANN domain, you could claim the corresponding ETH one. But of course, that wasn't very well publicized. So everyone kind of has a ad hoc, kind of haphazard trademark policy. So I think we're wrapping up. There are some overarching issues. You can put in, we got time for a few more questions. But as we said earlier, we've talked about collisions. There are collisions happening both between different blockchain TLDs because there is no blockchain unitary root. And there's also collisions happening between blockchain TLDs and ICANN TLDs. As I say, I do think that the blockchain community is going to solve that problem. There's no UDRP for second levels or top levels that are on chain. And so there's a need for the community to come up with a dispute mechanism and a way to do basically a domain blacklist for bad actors. We talked a little bit about custodianship earlier. I think it has to evolve more for corporate blockchain domain ownership. Right now, it's more vested in individuals. And then mainstream adoption and true decentralization is also evolving rapidly with these new browsers that are coming up. So that's it. Any final questions or comments?